Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about the 8th short story in the portable Chekhov edition that I'm working my way through. The 8th story is called The Culprit. It's a very interesting story. It's not incredibly complicated, but just like the previous video that I did, it takes place, a majority of the story takes place in a courtroom, in a sort of extended courtroom scene. And what the case is a young man was caught by a police officer unscrewing a bolt connecting two train cars together at a railway. And this was in direct violation of a law that said any tampering with a rail car or a train in any way that could do harm to the passengers, to the train company itself, is illegal and is illegal, and it can be, you can be prosecuted. And so they bring this young man in, and they start questioning him on what he was doing. Why was he unscrewing the bolt from the train? And come to find out, he was unscrewing the bolt, and it's something that he has been doing for a long time, unscrewing bolts that he finds to use them as fishing line sinkers, so that he can catch better fish for himself and his family. And so the judge goes through a series of questionings, asking, why don't you use a nail? Why don't you use a bullet? And time and time again, this young man defends his reasoning of why he uses the bolts. He shows how they work better. He explains how he can catch better and more fish with the sinker than he can without. And that people have been doing it this way for the longest time, and up until now, no one has ever gotten in trouble for it. And so the judge and this young man sort of just go back and forth at it in their argument, until eventually the judge sentences the young man, and he is completely shocked, because it's never happened to him before, and he keeps explaining that he's done this a multitude of times before now, and nothing has ever come of it in this way. And the judge explains how it's the law, and in what specific way he has broken the law. And so he gets sentenced for this very small crime that really shouldn't even be a crime. In his eyes, it certainly is not a crime. And so it's a very interesting short story. It certainly is a political commentary. It certainly is a judicial commentary, commenting on the state of the court at the time that this short story was published, which was the late 1800s. It's a very interesting short story. It does give an interesting look into the court, into the court scene. It's a little bit of a different. It's through a little bit of a different lens than the previous story was. The previous story was almost more for humor, whereas this one is almost more realistic. It's more stark. It's more dreary in comparison to the more humorous, light, and comedic tone of the previous short story. If you have any thoughts, please feel free to leave a comment down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye for now.